Hello and welcome to the Anime Dumpster Dive podcast, where we go in-depth on an anime that's been considered trash by pretty much anybody. I'm your host and middle child vampire brother, Jake H. I am joined by my co-host and youngest vampire brother, DJ.
Hi, it's me, the little boy vampire.
Oh, God.
And my other co-host and vampire bride-to-be, Anthony.
Yay! Yay!
Did
I
you
was
think
a
I was
bridesmaid,
gonna go
never a bride.
Did you think
I did. I thought I was going to be the oldest. I'm thankful.
Nah, you couldn't be the oldest.
I am.
He's the oldest out of us three, though.
Oh, that makes sense with the whole Vampire Brothers thing.
Yes,
That you'd use our real ages.
Yep. But then I threw you for a loop, Anthony, and made you the
Yeah. Yay! Always the bridesmaid.
Marry me or
never
I'll kill
bride.
you.
girl. Little bitch.
Oh, God.
So the anime that we watched this week is Diabolik Lovers, and you know it has some pretty boys in it. And
Beautiful.
to get our viewers a little taste of how the type of anime that we like to watch, we like to go into a small topic before we actually go into the anime. So guys, who is your favorite, or I guess who is your best boy? Who's your best anime boy?
I'd go first.
Yeah.
Yeah, Victor Nikibiro.
I figured you'd say that. That's kind of your thing, is claiming that Victor's your favorite character.
Didn't see
He's
that
my
one.
Rainbow Six Siege coach.
So you're saying that, one day you'd like to come home from, work, and he'd just be, in your house, taking a bath, and saying, I'm going to teach you to be better at Rainbow Six Siege.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
naked in your chair or something like
And
that.
then instead of him just being behind me in body pillow form, he could be behind me in real man form.
Real sexy, overly muscular man.
Real sexy, overly muscular man form. Yeah.
Right.
How about you, Anthony? Who's your best boy?
Oh, let's see.
Chaozu.
Kire Kotomine.
That man frightens me.
Yeah, me too.
He's hot, though.
You can't argue that. And he's got some pretty sick claws. He's got,
He's got some
Come on.
pretty sick claws.
He's a big Wolverine cosplayer.
Baldo,
Yeah.
Anthony. If you're into claws, Baldo.
He also has got that movement.
No.
It's woo.
No. No. I always used to think that when I was going through the campaign with the story missions of Soul Calibur, I beat him the worst.
Because he was a freak? That's a racist.
I hate him.
That's kink
Because I
shaming.
hate him.
That's kink shaming.
No,
Anthony.
it's not. No, it's not. It's just he's kind of weird, and I hate the way he moves his hips.
Kink shaming.
Kink shaming.
That's not kink shaming. That's just my own personal opinion.
Anthony's
I know you don't like
Anthony's like, get your freaks away from me. I like my boys all nice and priesty.
I like mine moody and broody.
Moody and
That's the
broody.
way I like mine.
I like Kirei, but I'd say not the best boy in Fate Zero.
No. Alexander.
Who's better?
Iskander.
Who's better? Oh yeah. You're right.
For me, my best boy is probably I mention this anime a lot. Is Kraft Lawrence from Spice and Wolf. He's an intelligent guy. He's very passionate about the thing that he wants, and he's an anime protagonist, but so he's dense, but he's not fully dense. He's not like Boron dense. This guy.
I thought the protagonist in Spice and Wolf was Spice and Wolf.
He's the Spice of Spice and Wolf.
Oh, look at that.
He
Wants to have sex with a fox.
It's a wolf goddess. That's the wolf part of wolf.
Isn't her name
Dude,
Polo?
you're just fucking
Polo
this
is
up.
the wise wolf.
And she never should win Best Girl, right?
She should.
Ever.
Damn it.
Ever. But now that Ren's not eligible to win, now she'll win.
She better win. It's so upsetting. She always gets so far, and then it's like, oh no, her anime came out years ago, and it's like that. Jix, Rem didn't even win her anime. Okay, that's all I gotta say. Anyway,
I love Amelia.
boom. It's her birthday today, or yesterday.
Amelia's?
Yeah.
How do they know someone's birthday?
It's in those notes, anime note,
Yeah,
animation
yeah.
notes.
Everybody knows that. Duh.
Everybody knows that. Just like in Rainbow Six Siege, they have all of the operators' birthdays.
They do.
That's just the day they created them,
Yeah.
right?
It's
Is
still
it?
their birthdays.
Yeah, they were born that day.
What is a birthday other than the day you were actually, I guess, not created, but like released to the public? Anyway,
The day I was released to the public?
We're getting real far off of our topic.
Yeah, it is, because you were created before that.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and let's move on to our actual topic. I'm going to go ahead and intro the anime now.
Deal.
Yue Komori is told that she is going to start living in a secluded mansion. What she doesn't know is that she will also be moving in with 6 brothers with all different personalities. These brothers do have one thing in common, though. They are all vampires, and they are all obsessed with her blood. How will Yue survive her new living situation? Let's dive on into Diabolik Lovers.
We're going to dive into it just like they want to dive into her.
Yeah. So, if in case you weren't able to pick it up from watching it, it's based off of a visual novel game by the same name. It is made by Idea Factory. It is produced by Studio X, which hasn't made anything I'm familiar with. It's random-ass anime that all seem like... I didn't even bother clicking on any name because nothing looked familiar. It is directed by Shinbo Takashira, who also directed No Doubt and a couple episodes of Gotham Knight.
Shit, he directed the band?
Yeah, he directed Gwen Stefani? Is that her?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, look at that. Look at my No Doubt trivia. No, it's some anime. I recognize the name, so I put it in, but I don't know, I've never watched it, so I have no idea what it is.
Well, let me tell you.
No comment.
No comment.
You shouldn't.
No comment.
I feel like if he directed No Doubt, they wouldn't have done as well.
They wouldn't have done as well if he was directed the actual anime.
That's the fucking
Who knows?
truth.
He might be a great music director. You know?
Yeah, false. Yeah, you know what? He probably is better at something else than he is at directing anime. So that's what I have to say about that.
All right, so let's go ahead and
He's good at 2 things.
before we go into spoilers, we like to talk about our first impressions as well as talk about what we thought of the main cast. So let's go ahead and let's talk about our lead in Yui. What are your guys' thoughts on her?
Dense.
Helpless. Stupid.
Helpless, stupid.
She lacks
Annoying.
common sense. To tack that one on the list.
Yeah, lacks common sense.
Yeah, blonde.
Listens to whatever people tell her to do.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you're
doesn't-
gonna go live in this abandoned house.
Yeah,
No.
doesn't
I don't
think
wanna
for
live in an
herself.
abandoned house.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah, I think that covers everything.
boobs are too small.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
The
gosh.
worst
Pancake.
crime. The worst crime you could commit in an anime.
Right?
Yeah, okay, you guys were able to like attack her right away, like ravenous dog.
Oh,
Like one of these
keep it-
brothers.
You just wait until we get to the end of this fucking shit.
So let's move on to we'll try to make these quick because we're gonna go through 7 of these characters. So Yui,
Good.
dense, lacks common sense, annoying. Let's go ahead and let's start with possibly like the lead brother, Ayato, one of the triplets. He's the one with his
Sadist.
He's the one with the
He's a
pant leg
sadist.
curled up.
Is he the one that keeps saying yours truly?
Yes.
Yeah,
He's weird. I don't like him. He annoys me.
he's a sadist.
Bad person.
I hate him.
He's a bad person. That's all.
Yep.
He's not a great
He
guy.
keeps trying to, let's say, have fun time with her without her consent.
Yeah, that
I
borderline.
feel like that's every brother except for like 2 of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He also calls
This
her
is,
Pancake, which is annoying
Yes, he does.
because it's never good. It's always like, it's like, well, what do you think? Pancake. And I'm like, okay. You could have just stopped at that part.
And all of these brothers are horrible at terms of endearment. It's like,
Speaking of the horrible terms of endearment, let's move on to another triplet in Laito. Laito.
Aito, probably a character with the most depth. I'd say that this character has the most depth out of the entire show.
Yeah. I always was wondering, why is he calling her a little bitch? Because he had so much depth.
Yeah, and Anthony, maybe he struck me as your classic "our atheist" mod. He's got the fedora, and he's constantly telling you God doesn't exist when you're not talking about it.
He is.
Yep.
I feel like that was a bad translation. Like there is some like actual term of endearment that he was using. Like maybe it's kind of a vulgar one, but it's like a word, But they translated it to little bitch.
I don't know. I disagree because if you listen to the dialogue, it's literally bitch-chan.
Oh, Anthony watched the sub.
I absolutely did.
He calls her bitch-chan the whole time?
Yeah.
Well, that changes things.
Fuck. DJ was trying to save it. Dude,
No. This show is absolute fucking...
masterful?
Oh, I'm not going to say. Because then I would be... What's the point of watching the entire podcast?
To see if it's the worst or the second worst anime we've ever watched.
That's absolutely... Yeah. Keep watching. It just gets fucking worse from here.
Since we're on two of the triplets, let's go ahead and move on to the third triplet. Kanato.
Creepy.
I don't like this guy possibly the most.
Yeah. Borderline creepy. They were like, we need to put a tsundere in our anime, but let's also make him fucking crazy.
Like, I brought you to the grave of my dead mother. She's like, what? Why?
He's like, cuz
this is special. Because this is special to me. And now I want you to place these flowers on her grave.
Now I'm gonna show you my collection of stuffed people.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a strange little guy, that one.
Oh god, this show's fucking...
He's a weird guy. All right, then Anthony said he was tsundere, and that's not true. The tsundere is Subaru.
You think so?
He's so tsundere, Anthony. He gives her the knife, and she's like, "Why are you giving me this? It's not like I care about you or anything." I'm like,
yeah.
No,
he's like main vampire bro, and then the other one's like dad vampire bro, and then there's spooky scary vampire bro, and then there's the triplets. And there's more, I guess, because that was only 6.
Well, the white-haired one, he's like the cool type.
Yeah, that's the one she bangs in the bathtub, right?
He's got a ripped shirt.
No, that's Shu.
That's the blonde one.
That's the blonde one. That's the I don't care type.
Yep.
Yeah, Subaru's the white-haired one.
Yeah, Subaru's the white-haired bad boy.
Yep, white hair, ripped shirt. Fucking...
He's like, hey, I'm a vampire.
He's voiced by Josh Grelle in the dub, Anthony, so,
Oh.
I'm
sorry for Josh Grelle.
I know. I was really upset.
We all have regrets about it. Yeah, we all have some regrets about our careers. I'm sure that's one of them.
All right, so DJ brought him up. Let's talk about Shu, who is the eldest brother.
He's a mysterious, cool guy, bad boy.
What songs do you think he's listening to? Do you think he's listening to, like, hardcore gangster rap?
He's listening to cooking podcasts. That's what
he's listening to Twilight soundtrack.
He's listening to 1,000 Years over and over again.
Yeah. I died waiting
he's just like, I love this shit.
Yeah.
I like it because it's about me.
It's like, I'm a vampire like Edward. No one understands me. I'm gonna assault this girl in the bathtub.
She likes it.
And then we have the final brother.
She didn't, though. Like it.
Yeah. We have the final brother in Reiji. And he's, like DJ said, he's like the dad brother.
He's the dad brother.
Extreme BDSM.
Wait, there's 6 brothers, right?
There's 6 brothers and her.
Okay.
So that's 7 people.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, so...
I got confused by the 7.
So Reiji's the dad. He kind of keeps everything together. And he's I liked Reiji at first just because he was tired with everyone's shit almost as much as I was tired with everyone's shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you relate to him really well. When he's like, just shut the fuck up. And you're like, get him, Reiji.
I'm like, yes, tell them to shut the fuck up.
He's got a secret laboratory.
He does have a secret laboratory where he...
DJ, get out of my laboratory!
Like, get out of my laboratory, you You You're so stupid! You're so stupid! It's Stop fucking on my brothers. You are so stupid. She's like, I can't help it. They just grab me and hold me down. But I love it? Question mark?
Do I this is a very, very gray area, but not really, because it's still not consensual at first.
Oh my god.
Alright.
She reminds me a lot of like 50 Shades of Grey and the beginning of Twilight, like where it's like, yeah, but she's totally into it. And you're like, are you sure? Because he's not really asking her that. Or are you sure she's into it?
Yeah, it's definitely weird. So what are your guys' first impressions when you first went into this? Like, not getting too spoilery, but like when you loaded it up, or when you saw some art of it, what did you think it was going to be, and did it catch you off guard at first?
Holy fuck, he did it again. He picked an anime that's absolutely fucking worse than Handshakers.
What? Anthony.
You can't spoil that.
You spoiled it. You spoiled
It's
it.
the only thing people are waiting for. Is it worse than Handshakers?
That was my first impression.
I'm not going to reveal until the end if it is worse than Handshakers. I like the first set piece with the couch and stuff. I was like, this is going to be fucking bad. Like, you could just tell, like, they didn't draw much of that room and stuff. You're like, they got a couch and a black wall. This isn't going to be good. And then as it went on and, like, the dialogue started to come out and they started to say little bitch to her every single time they spoke to her. And he said yours truly too many times. And the dialogue was bad. I texted Jake. I said, I think I'm watching a fan dub.
He did.
But it wasn't. It was the official dub. And then he was like, I don't know, maybe. Usually for fan dubs, there's only one episode, Jake said. And I was like, no, this is the whole series. And he was like, well, then it's probably the real dub. I was like, this can't be fucking real. That's what I said. Yeah. But it was the real dub.
It didn't help that it's also a Sentai dub, which isn't a great dubbing company to begin with.
Ridiculous. It was first impressions were. I pulled it up and I was like, oh, this show was made specifically for the type of people that have vampire fantasies, and I ain't one of them.
No, that's absolutely true.
That was my mindset. Was this is made for 13-year-old emo goth girls?
Yeah,
and goth boys who wish they're the vampires.
And
yeah. Oh yeah.
I can. How many? Do you think that there's some fucking kid out there who watched this show and at the age of like 13 dressed similarly and went up to girls and started hitting on them like the Vampire Brothers? Like going up to girls and
absolutely.
Like, hey, little bitch. It's like, whoa.
Oh,
his screen name is Fenrir Wolfsbane and shit like that.
It's 100% true. It's 100% true. You didn't read the comments on whatever platform you were watching this show on?
No, I didn't.
Oh, please do. Oh, please do. Go back and watch it, and you'll see. You'll see.
It reminds me of My Immortal. That's how bad the dialogue is. The dialogue is just as awkward as Handshakers. Like, I remember I mentioned the scene where they first meet the fucking professor in Handshakers, and it just nothing makes sense in that scene at all. It's all like that, yeah.
Yeah,
combined with
it leads,
with fucking awkward scenes too, awkward dialogue and awkward scenes. It's very awkward.
Oh yeah,
very very awkward.
Yeah, it's so weirdly paced. Like the dialogue itself is so weirdly paced. So
it leads you to kind of understand that they probably pulled most of these lines directly from the game. 100% true. Like they probably pulled a lot of these dialogue lines from the game and were just like, all right, yeah, let's fucking put that one in. It doesn't matter that it's out of place. It doesn't matter that it's doesn't make a lick of sense for us to put it in, but fucking put it in. People that love this game, they're gonna love this anime. Yay!
I'm so curious as to, like, watching it. I'm like, okay, so clearly based off a visual novel, but I'm just like, how successful was this fucking visual novel to get an anime adaptation
and sequels
and 4 seasons?
There's 4 seasons? I thought there was only 2.
There's
There's
4,
four.
dude.
And no, I think there's 2 seasons of the anime, but 4 games.
Oh, that's what it
okay.
is. Yeah.
Jeez.
Which just made me go, why?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
that's all I thought.
Okay.
I was like,
Yeah.
why?
Oh my
I
god.
mean, like, I can understand where they're coming from. High School DxD is also another fucking. That's why I can understand, because you're like this fucking show, this fucking show has 4 seasons. How the fuck? And then you start watching the first episode, and then you're like, you blink and you're on the 4th season. I'm like, huh, this show sucks.
Yep. It's
This one, I did not blink. I cried the whole time.
stared into the void.
The
I stared
only
into the void.
The only positive that I could give the first impressions is that thank God it was 15 minutes long an episode. Thank God.
15 minutes long an episode. Despite its cringiness, it's edgy, which is
Better
is,
not
which
say
is-
anything fucking positive about this show, dude.
It's edgy, which I appreciate that it's it's edgy.
Oh.
Its edginess is dumb and awkward and
Yeah, it's weird edgy.
not cool.
It's not.
But it's
Correct.
edgy as in like, it's like doing its own thing. I usually like animes that do that. So I got to give it a little bit of props for that.
Mm-mm.
Like I like Valkyrie Drive Mermaid because it's edgy.
That's different. Kind
What?
Of edgy. That's not
What?
edgy. That's not.
Yeah,
That's not Resident Edgelord.
No,
here.
not like
That's the
edge.
different-
No.
That's the
Not like
different
edgelord
definition of
edgy.
edging.
No, not like edgelord edgy. Like we don't care that people aren't going to watch this because there's so many titties in it. That type of edgy.
Like edgy, like as in the sense of like we're gonna do what we want. Like you can watch it if you want. Like
Yeah,
Okay.
just like edgy music is edgy. It's like, whoa, you shouldn't be saying that. You know what I mean?
Okay. I get what you
Well,
mean.
it's
Just
showing
a-
all those titties. Oh,
Yeah.
they shouldn't be raping that girl every episode. Stuff like that.
All right. It seems like we're getting pretty heated, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to go throw up spoilers. Now, if you want to skip any of the spoilers, you can go ahead and jump to the time up above. So, like Anthony said, these are 15-minute episodes, so hopefully we'll be able to
Thank
go
God.
through these pretty quick.
Thank God. There was nothing in them either, so I'm sure that we can go through this really fucking quick.
So my first note in this is 15-minute episodes should be that bad, and then I have an addendum. And I said, nope, 15 minutes too long.
Oh, abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Find a vampire, get raped by a vampire, rinse and fucking repeat.
It's fucking
Boom.
Rape the Anime.
Yeah, it is.
It's-
Yep.
Yeah. There's 6 vampire brothers, so the first 6 episodes just consist
Yeah.
of her getting raped by a new vampire brother every episode.
Every
And
single
then,
episode. And
that's
then,
plot.
and then they go so far as to put no, dude. There was no, yeah, exactly.
Air quotes.
Plot.
Plot.
Yeah.
plot.
And then they even go so far to say, "Oh, well, she could get raped by 2 vampires in one episode. This is gonna be
there's
great."
There's
Yes.
that part. So,
They're like, oh, we ran out of vampires.
Horrible.
We'll just do it once.
Fucking horrible.
so first episode starts out. Yue gets transferred to this school. Gets transferred to this house, transported to this house by her church, and she goes inside, and she's almost immediately attacked by Ayato because
Yep.
she.
I just don't understand. Why would she agree to this? Like,
It-
you're going to go live in this house by yourself. Oh, okay.
Because they needed
about
a way for
no
the player character to end up in that situation.
Yep, 100%. Like, oh, your dad's gonna let you come live with 6 other boys. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. You're 13. Oh, that's good. These men are all 1 billion years old, so here you go.
Yep, it's definitely weird. Definitely because they're like all like seen in like what is it? What's that called? Victorian century clothing at first, right?
And they like bringing up the fact that they're weird. They're older.
Yeah,
Mhm.
They're
They
like,
love bringing that up to her, too.
Oh yeah.
so she sees Ayato like asleep on the couch, and so she checks to see if he's breathing, and she doesn't hear a heartbeat, and so she tries to CPR, which is at first I'm like, oh look, she's nice, but he's a vampire, blah blah blah. So I kind of feel bad for her here because she's trying to do a good thing, and then he just fucking attempts to rape
It's
her,
good.
Yeah.
and he's like, listen here, yours truly, and it's So that's a weird translation because he refers to himself as Orasama, which is just basically like it. Instead of saying yours truly, he could have said like I'm your master, or like you will call me master,
Right,
or something
right.
like
But
that.
it sometimes gets translated weird. Isn't that the same thing that happens in prison school? Is he using the same word?
Yeah, yes, when he's doing like when he's saying like dono, when he's like I can't remember any prison school character's name, but it's like
But he keeps. There's that one guy that keeps saying yours truly.
yeah, it's
And
that guy.
you told me. I remember that you told me you were like, yeah, it's a bad translation or whatever.
Yeah, it's basically saying that he's like he's referring to himself more proper. He's referring to himself with a higher status, and so that's where it's just a weird translation to make it to say yours truly.
Yeah, and ultimately he's just trying to demean Yue.
Yes,
So
I mean all of them are.
oh yeah.
Not just demeanor. I mean, they're trying to do some other stuff.
And that's where we get the other brothers show up, and oh my god, this what's his fucking name again? I said it during the characters. Lato. When he shows up, he calls her little bitch like 8 times right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, listen here.
That's when I started
bitch.
going, oh god.
Yep.
And it's like you could take 80% of Lotto's dialogue and take out little bitch, and his dialogue will have will have bigger impact. But it ends with like little bitch or begins with little bitch, and it's just so bad. And it's like he's sitting there and he like tackles her to the ground in one episode, and he goes, "God's not going to hear you here." And I'm like, "Oh, there we go." And he goes,
Yeah.
"Little bitch." I'm like, "Fuck
Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
We're this close to being serious, and then you ruined it."
Oh yeah, like I said back in a little while ago, it is honestly, this dialogue is specifically kind of set up for people that are into that type of shit. And I'm not saying that's I'm not kink shaming anybody.
It's real bad.
It's just it's for the makings of an anime. It's fucking horrible. The dialogue is clunky. It feels fucking oh god, it's disgusting.
It's something here that bothered me weirdly a lot. So once they all reveal to her that she's that they're vampires, she takes out her crucifix, and is like, "Get back!"
Mm-hmm.
And Reggie goes like, "Did you really think that was going to work?" It's like, that doesn't work. Like that's a myth spread by mortals. It's like that doesn't work. Garlic doesn't work. Sunlight doesn't work. And he's just saying, and I'm like, oh fuck, this is annoying. This is written by a person who doesn't get the appeal of vampires.
Yeah.
Right. The fan
theory.
theory.
No, they should be totally unstoppable. It's just cooler if they're unstoppable.
Yeah, it's like, no, that's what makes that's what makes them relatable are weaknesses. You can write a plot around their weaknesses. You can write story. You can make them develop around it. If they're invincible, it's there's no room to grow just because they're invincible. And it's like, so I'm like, well, granted, if this was a different anime, that probably would have come up more. But no, this one really wasn't. Like,
Doesn't come up.
The fact that they're vampires just is kind of like that's to explain why they're attacking her. Other than that, like the reason they're vampires almost plays no point in the story.
Oh yeah, yep.
Oh, also in this episode, she makes it into the room because the chains break, and it's never explained why it's broke. And
Just cuz.
Yeah, and so she goes into the room, and they're like, "This room's supposed to be locked off." And she finds her dad's diary with a picture of her and explaining that she's adopted. And she's like, "Oh my god." And the show's like, "Oh my god." And I'm going, what the fuck is happening?
And you go, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
Funny how that never comes up ever again.
Ever.
Doesn't really matter.
Ever. Doesn't resolve.
I thought it was going to be that, turns out that she's their sister, and it was going to be all like, whoa, but no.
Yeah.
No, she's not their sister.
Yeah, and so each guy fills out their cool, their bad boy, their gothic Lolita, I guess, for the goth kid. And my final note for the first episode is, what have I done? We didn't need to do this.
I
We
agree.
don't need this in our lives.
Yeah, not like this. No.
I kept noticing how awkward the dialogue was. And it's just as awkward as dialogue we've had in other animes. It's just multiplied by the fact that we're watching awkward scenes as well. I think if you do awkward and awkward, it's bad. Like they have the rules with that in like storytelling and stuff. Like if you accelerate one point of tension, you shouldn't accelerate the same point of tension at the same time because it'll make it hard to palate. Like people go, whoa, like a lot happened all at once. So they'll accelerate like background tension, and then later they'll accelerate the other one. So I think the same's happening here. We have two awkwardnesses at once, and it makes it way too much. If they had like normal dialogue and an awkward scene, or awkward dialogue and a normal scene, then it'd be better.
Yeah.
That's what I feel.
So a combination of the two is just a little too jarring.
It's jarring. Yeah, you're like, it's just too cringy. Like,
Yep.
watching them attack her, you'd be like, okay, this is a vampire attacking her girl. And if he was like, I want to feed on you because I'm a vampire.
Right,
blah, blah,
right.
blah, you'd be like, oh, they're going to get her. But you're watching them attack her, and that's a little cringy. And then he's like, hey, yeah, I'm going to bite into you, yeah. And then you're like, okay, so that's double cringy. That's really weird.
Yep. Yeah. I 100% agree with that. I think that like taking away, as Jake was kind of talking about, their kind of like their weaknesses. There's no appeal as to why you would want to be around this fucking weirdo. Like the one thing that Twilight has going for it is that Edward he's enthralling to Bella.
Yeah,
Bella
is
isn't
like she's attracted to him, and he's
exactly.
mysterious.
Yes.
Exactly. These guys are just fucking creepy weirdos. That's it.
The problem with Twilight is I don't get why they would be attracted to Bella.
Well, it's the same thing. I mean, this show used that fucking shitty plot point too. Her blood is the sweetest I've ever tasted. Whoa.
Oh yeah, because we get that in the second episode.
Yeah.
In the second,
And it's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking thing with Bella.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
It is.
It's a shitty plot point. That's a shitty fucking. It's got me so
Horny.
So we get that because Ayato successfully attacks her and sucks her blood in the second episode. Speaking of that, we also get the first introduction to the opening, which is terrible. It's a bad opening.
Yeah, it is.
It's not good. I did the watch it once, never watch it again one, and
That's same.
was I glad.
I watched it once and never watched it again because I was like, all right.
Yeah,
I was like,
I skipped it.
I was like, this fucking OP is trash, and I'll be skipping it from this point on.
Mm-hmm.
So most of my notes for this one are, which is something that we've talked about, and so this is something that pisses me off too. So she starts going to night school, so the boys can go to the same school as her, but the sun doesn't affect them. So why
go at night?
Yeah, why are they going at night? Is it because they're vampires?
Because we're vampires.
We just like nighttime. Blah.
Every monster goes to school at night.
Blair, be scared, Blair.
So Ayato attacks her.
At school.
It attacks her at school because he convinces her to ditch. This is what I hate. Okay, I understand some people write weak women characters. That's okay. Not every woman character can be a strong female lead, but this bitch doesn't have a strong piece of her at all. He tells her to skip class and make him food, and she goes, "All right, I'll make you takoyaki." And then she makes the food for him, and then he attacks her and sucks her blood, and then he says, "Your blood, it's the sweetest thing I've ever tasted."
You just can't help himself.
Gag me. Fucking.
Isn't it beautiful?
I get it's based off a game, but seriously, has the writer of the show ever heard a real conversation? Like the pacing of the
100%.
dialogue,
Yep.
as well as the dialogue itself, is as if the writer has never heard anyone speak ever.
Mm-hmm. And I 100% agree with that point in the sense that, like, if the main direction for this anime is to keep the game in mind the entire fucking time and go, okay, I'm supposed to be appealing to everyone, instead he just goes, you know what? No, I'm only going to appeal to the people that have played this game. So these are the strongest points that I want to give the entire show to this particular character. That his dialogue, the way that he acts, I'm just going to do just a very small, minute amount of that and give that for semblance of character to this guy. That's what's going to be appealing. And I think that is fucking wrong. I think that 2 episodes in, I'm already going, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, so was it, she fucking wakes up at home after she gets attacked at school, and I can't even remember what happens next, but he throws her into the pool, right? He throws her into the pool, and she can't swim. She starts to drown, and he has a flashback of, like, he's like, my mom threw me in a river, in a lake, and I started to drown. He goes, I better go save her. And so then he saves her, and then he throws a towel at her, and she's like, huh. And I'm like, no. Him giving you a towel after attacking you, then throwing you in a pool, does not make him a kind-hearted individual, you stupid bitch.
No.
She's like, he loves me. No.
And also, the room's still not locked up. The room that they said that she wasn't allowed in is still not locked. They didn't relock it.
Yep.
But her dad's diary is all erased now.
Ooh. Yeah, and I can picture it in my head, what people are saying about that swimming scene. It's like, there's his character growth. That's how Ayato shows his soft side. No, fuck you. Fuck you. He's a piece of shit, and he doesn't deserve to be fucking elate. He doesn't deserve any praise in that scene at all. He does nothing to deserve any character growth. He doesn't demonstrate any growth. He doesn't demonstrate any redeemable qualities at all.
Well, I mean, he doesn't really grow from it here on. It's very, like, very little bit of development kernels there.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like it was obvious that it was like one of those scenes you see in an anime, or an attempt at one of those scenes you see in an anime where it's like, oh look, he was nice to her just once, and then over time it was going to be like, he's nice to her all the time. Oh, I thought that's how eventually they all were going to be nice to her.
Yeah, that's a better
kind of what it leads up to.
Way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I mean, it's totally predictable, the plot. Like, you know, eventually they're all gonna like her. You know, they're all gonna like learn to be less dicks to her. You know, and that's kind of what happens.
No way.
Not until like the last episode, and even then, it's kind of begrudgingly.
Yeah, and I am not gonna. Yeah,
it's kind of begrudgingly nice to her.
I was gonna save this line for that fucking episode itself. That a lion does not love the lamb that it's about to eat, but it will fucking protect it from other fucking lions. But it does not love that fucking lamb, because guess what? It's gonna tear the shit out of that lamb and eat it.
But Anthony. She's not a lamb.
We'll get there. Episode 3 happens. Episode 3 happens, and we're introduced to Shu's ASMR.
Yeah,
because Shu speaks in whispers, and it pisses me the fuck off.
He's so sexy, though.
He's like, wow.
He only talks that way because he's so sexy.
So my notes for this one are just, the show is gross, and it's clearly not meant for for a person of my sexuality.
I agree.
Shu attacks her in the bathtub. She goes to the bathtub to change because Ayato attacks her again. And he goes, clean yourself up. And so then she goes to the bath, takes a bath, and Shu's just laying in the bath in clothes. Because he's too cool to pay attention. Yeah,
this is also a big gripe of mine. I don't think that anime artists I don't think they have a good grasp on what happens to the body when it gets wet, or clothing or hair at all. I think that for certain animes they struggle with, especially like creative directors. They do an absolute horrible job on the animation.
They're great at drawing boobs and butts when they're wet.
Oh, 100%. 100%. But this guy stands up, instantly dry. I can't tell the difference if he's fucking wet or dry.
Yeah, but it's part of his vampire abilities. He's never wet.
I'm a dog.
Because he's so hot that water instantly evaporates off of him. And also, Jake, I think it is meant for people of your sexuality. You're just not a red pill redditor, so it's not meant for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I walked right up to that bitch and told her what I thought about her, and she just couldn't resist herself. It was. I think it was written by a red pill redditor for trying to capitalize on like Twilight fanfics. So he wrote it for girls who like Twilight, but it was written by a red pill redditor. That's what I think the show was.
That's hilarious. And let me grow out my neck beard and gain 300 pounds.
Don't forget the
I'll be set.
You just tell her like it is, and they just love it, you know.
You tackle him in the bath because Shu is like such a cool dude. She's like, you're not supposed to be wearing clothes in the bath, Shu, and he goes, then take them off. She's like, oh. He's like, do it.
Yeah, and then he pulls her into the fucking bath.
He pulls her into the bath, tackles her, and he goes, you smell so sweet. And then he starts sucking her blood.
Yep.
And then she walks out of the bathroom, and Ayato's like, what the fuck? Shu, did you attack her in the bathroom? And he's like, yeah, what are you going to do about it? It's like, game of darts.
Like, I love attacking girls.
Absolutely. The way that we settle all of our arguments with a game of darts.
And this is where I love Reggie, because Shu goes, I'm not going to play darts for her, and Reggie just comes in and just starts throwing shade at everybody. And he goes, Ayato's this dumbass, you're a dumbass for getting attacked in the bath, Shu's a dumbass because he's lazy, so, yeah. And she's like, fine, I'll play darts. And Reggie's like, what? That wasn't even trying to motivate you. I just was doing my daily insult day.
Daily insult.
Just coming in.
Reggie's daily insult.
Shit off my list.
So they play darts. Shu ends up winning. We don't even get to see them play darts. We get to see...
So vampires settle arguments.
Shu winning, yeah.
We just see Shu winning, and then...
Shu the dartboard.
Aito goes, oh, well, this little bitch is yours if you land another fucking 20.
And he does. And... Then
Which,
he goes,
talk about quote of my life.
He won.
I say that all the time.
What do you say all the time?
I say this little bitch is yours if you land another 20. Like, all the time. Like, it's such a real piece of dialogue that humans say.
Yeah.
He goes, well, little bitch, Shu won ya. And he throws her at her, and she's like, hey, just because I want, like, she's like, I want to make this clear. I do not care about you.
Yeah, don't get in my way or I will kill you. Yeah. Yeah.
And he whispers at her and he walks away.
I think that not even professional dart players have said that line. Not even men who play darts every day of their lives have said that before. I don't
like anybody who want to. Anybody gonna put up their own freedom? No. Oh well, watch me hit all 3 of these 20s. Boom, boom, boom.
So after the dart game, we move on to the next episode, and it's an episode based off everyone's favorite, Dido.
Lito.
Lito, yeah. And we get to hear him. He assaults her in a church. That's this episode. He assaults her in a church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she goes to pray.
Yeah, and he attacks her, and he says all these lines that could be good if he didn't have his stupid little catchphrase.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, who do you think sold you to us? I'm like, oh, little bitch. I'm like, fuck, dude. Come on.
This one I was like, oh, didn't he already get her? And then I was like, oh, no, he hasn't gotten his turn yet. Yes. It's just his turn. It's just his episode.
Yep.
It's his turn.
He almost like 6. Go ahead. I was going to say, we're also 4 episodes in, and every single episode has been exactly like the same. The last one.
Attack doing things.
Yep.
She's like, who's going to attack her today?
Yep.
He attacks her while she's praying, and he brags about like how he's gonna like this is the first one that feels really fucking sexual for me.
This is really rapey. You can say it.
Yeah, the other two were like biting her and like not even like Shu was a little rapey because he goes like when he's doing the ASMR thing, he's like, my fangs are deep inside you and stuff like that. But he's like him and Ayato are both like drinking her and talking about drinking her. Here, he's like, I'm gonna make you. He's like, I'm gonna steal your purity. I'm like, oh. He's like, I'm gonna bring you down into the depths with me. I'm like, oh my god. He's like, whether you like it or not. I'm like, he's raping her. He's gonna rape her this episode. Mm-hmm. And it is horrible.
Yep.
His dialogue's awkward. The whole scene's terrible. It's 15 minutes of rape play, but not play.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like a rape play video where you get the little skit beforehand where she's like, "Hey guys, it's me, and I totally like this." You don't get that on this one.
You don't get that. It's
Hey
not.
guys, don't call the police. This is not real. So
Yeah, this is just my fetish. She doesn't say that. She goes, "Oh my god, please help me." The
Yeah,
whole time.
stop! No, I don't want this. And I'm like, oh my god, I can only watch so much of this girl getting attacked.
But the red pillars are like, yeah, every time a bitch says she doesn't want it, it really means she does.
Flips trench coat in the wind.
Yeah, flinch trench coat.
So yeah, next episode is more masochist porn.
Mhm.
And this time Reggie attacks her in his library after giving her like key that stuns her, or like
Yeah, something like that.
one part I fucking thought was hilarious though. Reggie, like, she stumbles upon Reggie in his laboratory, and she's like, "Oh well, I'll leave you alone." He goes, "Where are you going?" He's like, "Oh well, stay. I was about to make some tea." And then a hard cuts, and they're both sitting down, and he's the only one with a cup. And he goes, "I think it was pretty presumptuous of you.
Yeah.
I think I was going to make you a glass."
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like that.
I'm like, oh, I'm like, what a dick.
Classic Reggie.
Serious. That's like, at this point, kind of understand that she doesn't hold any significance to them. Like, why would you continue watching this show to pretend to be the protagonist, or even try to relate to the protagonist at any point?
Some of them dislike her so much. I'm like, why are they even bothering with her?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, they hate. I'm like, they fucking hate her, and then they're like, wait a second, let me get you. I'm like, no, you hate her. Why?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, like, Reggie hates her. Like, he's like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't like you in this house. I think you're dumb. I think you make my brothers more dumb, and they're pretty dumb. So I just don't like you. And then he's like, here, have this tea. And she's stunned, and he goes, okay, now I'm going to drink you. And it's like, why?
Yep.
What? You just said you hated her so much. Kill her. Kill her. Do something.
Mhm. Oh, yeah. That's what I was waiting for, too. I think at this point I was already like, all right, somebody's got to die. Somebody's going to die. Let's bank on, see which episode it's in. Hopefully it's fucking soon.
Hopefully it's fucking soon.
So episode 6 comes along after that, and we get the weird brother. We get
Fucking
Kanato.
Goth. Yeah, Goth King,
Goth.
XX09XX.
He's like,
This is the graveyard, right?
Yeah, he's like, I'm so fucking edgy. My fucking teddy bear has a fucking eye patch on it. All right.
He's also Lolita teddy bear eye patch boy. I went like, God damn it! That kid's watched a lot of fucking anime. He was teddy bear's got an eye patch on it.
Yep.
And I also went, why is he bringing her here? And why is he so angry out of nowhere?
I think he's
He's like, hi, how are you doing? He's like, why are you asking me that? Oh, I hate you now.
I think he's supposed to be written as like crazier, like emotionally unstable, but he's just written off as he's just written as inconsistent.
Yep.
Yeah, insecure and
So-
lame.
It's just bad.
It's just bad writing.
He then takes her on like that tour of like his stuffed brides, and he's like, then I will give you the most beautiful glass eyes while I stuff you with this, and then I don't know what this was supposed to be, but all it is terrible. Like, I think it was
I think
supposed
they're
to be
trying to like show that
intimidating.
he's weird or something.
Right.
Yeah,
But I know that already.
yeah.
Well, it's like they're just showing how weak the main character is, and I didn't need you to fucking show me repeatedly. Your dialogue, the way that you portray her. Yeah, I fucking got that point. Thank you.
The way that she keeps approaching these brothers with no hesitation and is constantly surprised when they attack her is one of the most annoying concepts of the show.
That's
I agree.
also true. She doesn't
I
get
agree.
smarter, or it's like they need her to stay like uneducated and dumb for these scenes to make sense.
Yep.
If she was like, no, I don't want to go near you, then their fucking little fucking fantasy scenes wouldn't make any sense.
Right.
Oh, also, a thing that's been going on in these episodes are each brother, after they attack her, kind of has like a flashback of their interactions with their mothers. Like, we find out Reiji killed his mom, and she was really happy,
Yep.
and like he was pissed off about it. And then Ayato got drowned and other stuff. That comes into play later, but this is like the little kernels of plot that they're trying to do there, which is weird because here's 14 minutes of rape and then a little smidgen of
That's true.
of
It just doesn't
an
fit
idea.
in.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't, and it's laughable. The plot, saying that its plot is laughable. It is such utter garbage that whatever device that they're using to move this quote unquote plot along is fucking terrible. I thought that this was just going to continue using the same kind of structure the entire time, and it doesn't. It does nothing for me. It does nothing to capture my interest. It does nothing to continue moving this quote unquote story. I'm just ready for the next rape scene, basically.
It's not good. So this episode finishes up. Actually, it doesn't really finish up because the interaction with the Lolita brother, or whatever the male equivalent of that is, after the interaction with him, she runs into Subaru, who in the English dub is pronounced by somebody who's never driven a Subaru, or seen a Subaru, or heard Subaru, because they pronounce it as Subaru. Almost like Sabero, the fucking Italian restaurant that's only in malls.
Sapporo pizza, baby.
So,
Lish.
She's
Authentic
there.
New York pizza.
Is it New York pizza?
Yeah.
No, but that's an office joke.
Oh.
Is it?
Yeah.
So Subaru...
Michael goes to Times Square and he goes to Sbarro and he's like, New York pizza.
So Subaru gives her a knife, gives her a silver knife. And, well, no. Does he? Yeah, he gives her a silver knife, and he tells her that tonight is the only night she can leave.
Also, that doesn't make any sense.
It never
They
comes
go,
up.
if you leave, you'll die. And she's like, oh, okay. Never comes back up.
Yeah.
Never explain why she'll die.
Yep.
You'll just die.
Subaru tells her tonight's the only night she can leave. And she doesn't, because she's got to find, like, the secrets about her, like, her family, because her dad's
That's
not
why
her real
she's
dad.
staying.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which...
I feel like you could get all those secrets out by going to your dad.
Oh, yeah. Leaving
and seeing your dad. Be like, hey,
Yeah.
Asking him?
ask
You know, and if they wanted to, like, move forward with the whole Blood Moon thing, like, did you get that as well? I mean, like, as soon as Subaru says that tonight's the only night that you can leave.
Yeah, it shows the
it's
blood
like,
moon.
Right, it's just the Blood Moon. Okay, so then why show me that? Why show me that if that's never going to come up ever again?
It's because the director of the show went, people don't want those concepts from the game. They want the vampires biting her in the neck parts of the game.
Yeah.
And so Subaru does that, and then she decides to stay, and then Subaru goes into her room and gives her a knife. This point, 6 episodes in, Subaru is the only brother who hasn't attacked her.
He's an edgelord, too, man.
He's an edgelord, though. He's an edgelord tsundere. He gives her a knife to protect herself. And
She's like, what did you want me to use the knife on? He's like, in case you ever have to kill me. And you're like, what?
That was
Why?
later. Wasn't that later? I think
Is that later?
I think
No,
that's his episode, right?
No, he says it here. He says it. He's like, here's this knife. He's like, it's a silver knife. It's the only thing that can kill a vampire here. You'll have to use it to kill me if I attack you. And if you're not going to use it to kill me, use it to kill yourself. And I'm like, what? What is that?
You're like, whoa.
And I was like,
deep.
yay!
And I went, whoa, that's deep, man. He loves her so much, and he knows who he is. He's an animal. He knows that she'll have to kill him. Oh, what?
And I realize they really haven't had screen time since like the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's like somebody watched like a show with an actual plot where like the main character would have, like they watched a zombie show where there were two people were in love and they were like, if I turn, you have to kill me. And they were like, wow, that's badass. I'm going to put that in my vampire game.
Well, it's like the way, like I like the way you put it. It's like it really does feel like somebody's fucking fan. It's like their fan fiction that they wrote about vampires. And they're like,
so much like a fan fiction about vampires.
It's insert yourself as the girl is this person's idea, or all different brothers. It's like if it's written by a dude, it's all the brothers. It's like this is the multiple ways I want to attack a girl and have her still like me.
Mm-hmm.
They
love that type of shit.
The end of the episode, Lido attacks her and spills his "There is no God" stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She grabs the knife that Subaru had, and he's like, "Oh yeah, kill me, because that's the ultimate form of showing that you love me." And I'm like,
Even more edgelordy.
Yep.
I'm like, please end
This is where I'm starting to think, like, this did the same girl who wrote My Immortal write this? Like, that thing is so badly edgy. It'll be like, right before the concert, slit my wrist just so I could feel, bled everywhere. Then we went to the concert with me and Draco Malfoy, who's a vampire. You're like, that sounds ridiculous, but watching this anime, it brings up those feelings that I had when I read My Immortal.
Yeah,
which is a fan fiction about a vampire girl going to Hogwarts with Draco Malfoy being a vampire also. And then she gets into a 3-year relationship with Harry Potter, Draco Malfoy, and herself.
It's terrible.
Yeah, but, probably about the same quality of show.
I might go as far as saying that maybe more. Maybe that person
more.
has a better concept of they've created than this.
No.
That person
it's
can't
about
write
the
it
same.
all. It's
It's
so
about
bad
the
that
same.
it's not real. There's no way My Immortal.
So, really, because it did. The next episode, out of nowhere, she fucking gets she starts living in the memories of the kids. She's not even in the memory as a person. She's in the memory as like a spectator, which I guess annoyed me more. I don't know. It's
like the pensive in Harry Potter.
Yeah, we get a flashback episode.
Mm-hmm.
But so we get to see all the kids as little shit kids, and all the brothers as little shit kids. For some reason, Subaru's mom is locked up in a tower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's Rapunzel.
At one point, I wrote this down. Little Reiji and little Shu, who have the same mom. The mom is like, "Shu, put away that dog." And Reiji goes, "I finished memorizing like this entire book." She's like, "Yeah, whatever. Shove it up your ass. I don't care." I'm like, "Ow." That's why Reggie killed her.
Yeah.
Oh, really, mother?
And then he said a line from the book, and she's like, "What?" He's like, "I told you, I memorized that whole book." Oh, you're the worst. We also get introduced to Cordelia, who is the triplets' mom, and she comes up later. She comes up more. Anyway, so she ends up witnessing Cordelia talking to a guy, and that's really the biggest part of this. Oh, and she also cuts her finger in the flashback, but wakes up and she actually has a real cut. Those are like the two things I took out of her having a flashback.
Yeah.
And so
is this when Cordelia looks at her, right?
Yeah, my heart hurts.
Yeah, and then
what the fuck?
She wakes up in the fucking sewers, and Ayato's there like, Ayato's like, "Hey, what are you doing in the sewers?" He goes, "Also, your blood smells really good." And she's like, "Ah."
Yep.
And then Ayato's like,
"How
hey.
romantic! How romantic!
Like the waters could come through here and wash you away. Also,
and then Lido goes, "Hey, we attacking a bitch down here?" All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And so then both of them are. And then Aito goes, "I wanted to rape her by myself," and then walks away. And
It's disgusting. It's just disgusting.
Next episode, we get Cordelia. They make a huge reveal. Like they're like, "Cordelia," and I'm like, okay. The woman from the previous episode. Why is that such a big reveal? Like, we literally just heard about her last episode. It wasn't like we had little bits and pieces of this. It got revealed who she was. It's like revealed that she's the triplets' mom. And they killed her. Well, I mean, it was revealed she was the triplets' mom last episode. But it's revealed here that the triplets, all took turns fucking her up, basically, before she died. Like, Ayato punches, a hole in, her stomach, and then Lido pushes her out of a balcony, off a balcony, and then lights her on fire.
Was it before this or after this that she's talking to that guy and what's her name's in the flashback and she looks at her and she says her name? Cordelia does. That's
the episode before this.
Yeah, so that's the very end of. So you're like, what? She can see her. Whoa, yeah. It's real life. Oh, crazy. But not really. crazy at all.
Yeah. So the teddy bear guy, she sees the teddy bear guy again, and she's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And then he attacks her and this is again where I'm upset with her. It's because if I was her, I would never approach these guys.
No, I would avoid them.
He's like,
I'd see them and I'd go the other way.
She's like, "Hey, Kaneda, is that you singing?" And he's like, "Yeah." She goes,
I'm gonna fucking get
I'm
you.
gonna get you now. You what? She's like, "Oh no, this is completely out of character for you." And it's like, no,
No,
this
it's not.
has never happened to me before.
this is like all their one character trait. And so it's at this point where I'm like, "Hey, Super is the only one who hasn't drank her," and then he did, because like her blood's at like full feverish, like super good tasting mode, and so Super's like, "I can't help myself."
Yep. And I know that if somebody watches this that has, already resolved to say that this is one of the best anime that they've ever watched ever, they're going to say, "Oh, well, you guys failed to even talk about The Awakening. So you've made it 8 episodes and you haven't even talked about The Awakening. So you guys suck at reviewing." No, the reason why we didn't bring it up is because what the fuck is The Awakening?
Yeah.
That's why I didn't bring it up. It's not a fucking good plot point, so I didn't bring it up.
I know that no woman has made it till The Awakening.
Yep.
You make it 9 episodes in, you're like, wait a minute. Oh, what the fuck is The Awakening?
She's like, "What's The Awakening?" And they're like, "Not sure. No one's ever made it. We always kill them before that."
Yep.
You're like, well, that plot point lasted a long time.
So we're at The Awakening.
Yeah, we're at The Awakening. We're at The Awakening, and Uncle Richter shows up.
Thank God.
Hey, it's me, Uncle Richter. Hey,
Remember Richter.
Hey, Ragga Richter. That's me. Yeah.
Oh my
What's
God.
up, vampire boys? It's me, Uncle Richter.
The thing, at the end of last episode, Ayato's in her bed, and she's like, "Ayato," and he's like, "Shut up," and like the episode ends. And then the next episode, they just act like that never happened. Like it doesn't even pick up again. So then she gets attacked. So her and Shu are in the crypt or whatever, and the awakening happens. Richter shows up. And I'm like, okay, it's just a matter of time before Richter attacks her, because, I mean, he's a vampire man in this. Oh,
I like your old touch.
So the awakening's happening, and we find out Richter's the one who opened up the chains, because he disintegrates the diary too, like the father's diary in there. He's like, "We won't be needing this anymore," and I'm like, what point did it play? I feel like you never needed it.
Right?
You don't be needed anymore.
I got really mad at this inconsistency here. Richter leads her down into the room, and he's like, "This dress is yours." And it's Cordelia's dress that she was burned in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you can't even get that right? You can't get that consistency right?
Right. And
it's a unburnable dress.
Apparently.
Right, and like, apparently that's supposed to represent Cordelia's heart? Or is it the fucking... Right? Or is it the flower? Like, I don't know. We don't know.
But the end episode has her getting possessed by Cordelia. Even, like, her voice changes.
Bum, 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 bum.
In the English dub, Cordelia is voiced by Monica Riley. Monica Ryle?
Oh.
Yeah, so... It's like another good voice actor who made a bad decision.
Monica, why? Like, don't worry. Monica, I'm going to put this pitch on the table. It's about a bunch of vampires. Ooh, I like that. Okay. But they all raped this one girl. No.
Am I her? No. I don't want to do it.
I'm out.
No, you're not her.
No. Let me finish here. It's got 4 games and 2 seasons. Huh?
Will I be in both seasons? Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
I didn't watch the first one, so I don't know what to tell you.
It's like...
Good.
And then they reveal the reason that no one's ever gotten to the awakening is because the awakening is when she possesses them. Oh, whoa.
So...
this is 10, right?
Yeah,
this is
10.
episode 10 now.
It's revealed also that she has Cordelia's heart.
Right.
because Richter cut it. Because Richter's in love with Cordelia, who
Is his sister.
is his sister-in-law.
Well, sister-in-law.
So he when she fell off the balcony before Kanato burned her, she asked Richter to cut out her heart. And so is Richter going around constantly cutting out her heart, like putting her heart in people and then sending them to this mansion to live with the kids, or is this just the
And
first
then the
time?
kids kill
And the
them?
kids
Yes.
kill them?
Yes. That's before they can be possessed. So then he's got to go get the body, cut out the heart, put it in a new girl.
So
That's what I got from it.
All right, so he's just constantly doing that, just like this time.
Like, one day it'll work. And the funniest part, it gets revealed later, it's not because he's really in love with Cordelia, it's because she promised him control of the estate
Yeah.
if he would do it. So he's like, fucking what, god damn it, cutting hearts out of girls, god damn it, one day I'll get this estate, one day this will all be mine.
Why didn't he do the thing like every vampire does and just use their incredibly long lifespan to just make a fortune? But no, he's his incredibly long lifespan cutting out hearts and putting in new ones.
This one's gonna work. This one's gonna work, Marty. We're gonna go back in time. It's gonna work.
So she ends up snapping out of it when Ayato throws her into like the lake, and then immediately attacks her. Minutes after gaining her body back from Cordelia, Ayato attacks her.
I can't help myself, you're so bloody and great.
And then Richter ends up bringing her to dressing or doing something, and she awakens fully this time, and she's completely possessed. And my complaint here is you can't have back-to-back episodes of the same cliffhanger. Because episode 9 ended with Cordelia, and this episode ended with the same thing, where she opens her eyes and they're a different color, and she's like, oh, it's Cordelia again. And I'm like, it's the same fucking cliffhanger.
Right.
So
then
she possessed her again.
That's also a big gripe of mine for this episode too, is that the way to save her is to push her in the water.
She can't swim, Anthony.
She can't swim.
We all know this.
Except she does swim.
Except for she does. Yeah.
Even Cordelia's like, I'll just swim right over there. And they're all like, no, you won't, bitch. You can't swim.
Because she doesn't know how to swim.
Isn't swimming more like you
mental?
know how to swim
Yes.
instead of like
100%.
physically know how to swim?
It's not as much muscle memory as they'd like you to believe in this anime.
It's a combination.
It's like, if you've never swam before, you have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
But this body doesn't know how to swim. I'd like to think if I possess someone's body, I could still swim.
Oh, 100%.
I think that's how it works. It's not like maybe you couldn't swim as fast because of their physical limitations.
Is there a fat fuck? Yeah. I get that.
Agree with that. Yeah.
But can I not drown? Can I not drown?
Yeah.
Yes, I cannot drown.
She's like, and then she just resolves. She's just like, you know what? Oh, well, this bitch can die.
Yep.
I'm just going to...
Well, failed awakening again. Whatever.
Right.
Richter, go get another heart.
She's like, I gotta dive to the bottom lake again, man. Fuck.
One day I'll get this estate.
This estate will be mine.
Here's another thing too. This is kind of funny to think about. I know we're 10 episodes in this, a little off topic, but the dad of all of these kids is he's some senator or something like that.
State representative.
Yeah. He's like a councilman. How long has he been doing that?
Do you think that he just puts on a different he just has different facial hair and dyes it different colors?
Yeah. Because I can tell you that 20 years in, I'm gonna be asking that motherfucker like, hey man, I'm about 65 and you've been the senator this whole time. How you doing? What's your secret? I eat people. Yeah, I suck their blood.
I'm a vampire?
Long time you've been senator, maybe give some to us little guys.
Okay, and so episode 11 happens, and it really starts off with Reggie and Cordelia throwing shade at each other. They're just slinging insults at each other, and it's one of my favorite parts, just because they're roasting each other so fucking bad. And she's like, "Oh, look at Reggie, who's always known as the second favorite. Oh, blah blah blah." And he's like, "Oh, look at Cordelia, who got killed by 3 fucking morons." It's like, whoa, what? They're just throwing shade at each other. And she tries to seduce him because she says that out of all of his brothers, he looks the most like their dad. And Richter's kind of just there Richter's just like, yeah, he does. He does look like my brother. That's pretty crazy. Oh,
Richter's
now
like,
they're
"Damn
kissing.
it."
Now they're kissing. Okay.
But don't worry, this estate will be mine.
Yeah.
And so then she tells Richter to...
Richter's like, cucked again, damn it.
And eventually all the brothers show up, and they're like, power of, like, friendship, even though we don't really fucking like her still.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, don't worry, we'll save you. And she's like, why? Why would you save me?
I prefer this. I'm not constantly attacked.
Yeah.
I like the possession. I don't like the captivity and the rest of it.
And so Richter and Aito engage in a sword fight. And
Hell yeah.
Very poorly animated sword fight.
Yeah, but it's a sword fight nonetheless.
And Cordelia goes, I'll make you head of the estate. And he goes, and Richter's like, wait a minute. Didn't you say if I helped resurrect you, you'd make me head of the estate already?
He's like, you've already made that promise. You liar.
Retarded.
You've been using me all along. You know how many hearts I've got.
So Richter, who kicks Aito's ass in that sword fight, by the way, eventually Yue escapes the possession enough to take her knife that she had and stab herself in the heart.
Woo!
And then Richter is like, yeah, and then Aito stabs him. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, Richter has been kicking this guy's ass the entire time. Like, loses, like, because Aito, aimed? I don't know. It's bad. It makes no sense. Episode 12.
Who knows?
He was distracted.
Who knows?
So that happened, and I was like, "Oh, it's over." And then I was like, "Wait, there's another one."
Yeah, there's another episode.
It's another episode.
That's what I was like when I was watching it.
Okay.
And personally, I was like, yes, I'm mad that it took 11 fucking episodes for somebody to die.
All right, can you guys walk me through episode 12 because I'm having a hard time remembering it, and I don't have notes on it. I just remember
that's because,
the final parts.
Okay, so here we go. I'm going to break episode 12 down for you. Just quick, easy peasy. We'll be done with this show, lemon squeezy. Reggie, turns out he's a fucking scientist. Bet you forgot that point. No, you didn't. He's got a secret lab. He created a serum to save this girl from being stabbed. And then after that, they play the theme song twice in the same fucking episode.
But don't they need something special for the serum or something like that?
Yeah, they do.
Needed Cordelia. They needed Cordelia's body, but they burned it, and her body is in the teddy bear.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
right.
He's like, "Don't worry, I've got it."
Don't worry. And the brothers come together, and it's amazing and sweet. And no, it's not. It's the exact same. It's like these vampires are bringing this girl back so they can eat her.
But they bring her back, and she says a line. She says, "Why am I thirsty?"
She goes, "Why am I thirsty? Because you haven't drank water in a while."
Yeah. Because nobody eats.
She's a vampire.
Also, Lido burns Richter and his shrine to Cordelia.
Yep, and the heart. And Cordelia's dead.
Yeah.
And then they play the fucking intro twice, and then you're like, "Whoa, that was unnecessary. It looks like that was just a bunch of filler."
We're out of time.
Yep, the intro is 1 minute and 45 seconds long. So that's just about 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yeah. Jeez.
So, 3 minutes and 15 seconds of wasted time. Not to mention that they also play the credits as well. So, put that into perspective.
And a 15-minute episode.
In a 15-minute episode.
It's 5 minutes of wasted time in a 15-minute episode.
Guys, you're forgetting about the 2 minutes of going through all the brothers' win screens.
Oh yeah, oh my god!
It's
episode 12 is like a what the fuck?
My favorite one was fucking Lido's, where he's like, "It's like you and me, little bitch. The sky's the limit."
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Right.
What did you call me?
Fuck you.
What do you mean the sky's the limit?
And Subaru's is like, it's like, I will do anything and everything for you. And you're like, oh, to make you mine. I'm like, oh, it got rapey.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's like a bunch of their win screens from the game.
Mm-hmm.
and then it's over, and then there's a season 2. But we're not here
Why?
to talk about season 2.
Thank
We're here
God.
to talk about season 1. After we talk about an anime in depth and go through all the spoilers, we like to talk about how we would fix this anime. Without changing it completely, I guess I would make, as weird as it sounds, I'd like to lead off on the fixing this anime. As weird as it sounds, make the episodes 24 minutes. Make the episodes an average anime length. And fit more of that plot in there. Fit more of the awakening idea. Fit more of that. Space out the rape. I mean, because it's 15 minutes, it's 12 straight episodes of her getting attacked. So if you have her get attacked once per episode of 24-minute long episodes, with actual plot sprinkled in there, like more idea about the awakening, more of their backstory, it probably would be less impactful. It would be less like, oh my god, this entire series is about rape. Instead, it'd be like, oh, they're vampires who can't control themselves around her. That'd get its point across better. But it's not doing that. It's just doing that these guys are dicks to her. There's no character growth at all. It's just these guys attacking her. So I think if you made the series an average anime long length, expanded more on this lore or this world that it's created, and made the characters, expanded more on the characters as is, it could have been not absolutely fucking terrible, but maybe just bad. So that's how I would fix it. I would change it from wanting to stab my own eyes out to wanting just, I don't want to watch the show again. All right, who's next?
I agree with you. I think it's just a little more plot, a little deeper plot, and you've got a better anime. I think this anime would have worked more if it was is it called an ecchi when they show tits and stuff?
Yeah.
I think it would have worked better then, because then an anime watcher kind of knows what they're getting into. Does this game have nudity in it? Does the game have nudity in it?
I'm wondering, it might be more focused on like the guy, maybe, so there may not be like nudity, but like shirtless men.
Right, stronger sexual themes.
Yeah, I think if you had a little bit more of that in the show and did sexualize the guys a little more, it would actually work better. Instead of it just being a one-way rape fest, it would be
the guys
like
more appealing.
They're more appealing. They're sexy. She gets why. Like, make it more like a fucking visual romance novel where you're like, ooh, which one do I like? Like that way you could go into watching that way rather than them all being just completely undesirable in every way. So a little bit more of that and a little bit more depth, a little bit more plot. I think you could have had something that'll be way more palatable for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would change the entire anime, and I know that we go through this quite a bit, in recent episodes too, that like, I think that small changes for the positive, with increasing you would change the characters, give them a little bit more depth, because on the baseline, these characters are borderline not even two-dimensional. They are a single-dimensional characters, and they're boring. And I think that adding a little bit more depth and talking a little bit more about their backstory, and give me a reason to really like these characters. Show me a little bit more character development. Give them redeemable qualities, and not just make them edgelords or stereotypical. In that sense that they don't have these redeemable qualities or anything like that. And I do agree with Jake's point of increasing the length, because 10 minutes, no way, you're not going to be able to fit that much plot or character growth within a 10-minute episode. No way.
They just had to get to what they thought people wanted to see.
Yeah.
Yep, but then I would argue that a show that we have been watching, that I have been watching, Bravest Warriors, is able to do that in short 10-minute blips. And that show has way more character development than this fucking horrible piece of trash. But that's how I would fix it.
I wouldn't call it a piece of trash. Kind of rough there.
Get rough. Anything else you guys would like to say about Diabolik Lovers before we exit spoilers?
More nudity,
Is there more nudity in there?
Disgusting.
I mean, then I feel like it would make sense better then. Like, it just feels like a fucking... Because it stops so short, it just feels like someone who's never actually experienced sex before is, like, writing this, and they're like, and then they did it. Like, they don't get it.
It kind of
they don't
get that feel.
Yeah.
They don't get what, like, sexiness is and stuff. Like, they don't get it. They don't understand. I feel like if it was shipped more as like a sexy ecchi show, then it might be better. Especially if they sexualize the guys a little bit more. Because even as a male watcher, I would have a favorite one.
Yeah.
Like a fucking Yuri on Ice.
Yeah, Yuri on Ice is a good example because like the guys in there are like sexually drawn, and it is like I like watching that guy. But those characters are also really developed though.
That's true. But I mean, just even that small change, like making them sexier, would help it. Because at least you're like, well, I get that they're sexy. I get that's why she wants them, and they're kind of sexy, but they're not like as sexy as it could be.
Okay, Dieter says, "Sex, like gotta make it
Sexier
sexy,
boys.
Nips and hips. Gotta make it sexy.
Nips and hips.
Increase those sexual themes. Yeah, I agree. with
Yeah,
that.
it would make more sense.
All right, Anthony, anything else for you?
Nope.
All right, I'm pretty worn out from this fucking show.
Oh yeah.
Then let's get out of spoilers now. Welcome back. If you skip the spoiler section of Diabolik Lovers, I recommend listening to that instead of actually watching the show. So after,
I agree.
after we go into the spoilers, we like to give our spoilerless review as well as our rating. And our rating system consists of 3 different things. DJ, you've been gone for a while. You were back last episode. But what are our ratings?
Where do I start on our ratings, Jake? You got the first rating, and that's just when an anime, it makes you feel like a little tiny piece of shit. The anime does. So that's what we call the rating. It's called the trash baby rating. And then the middle rating, it's called middle rating. It's when an anime isn't quite a bad one, but it's not quite a goody booty either. It's middle rating. And then there's goody booties. That's when you are diving through a dumpster and you're like, what is this? A brand new USB flash drive, only used slightly, and then you go home and you plug the flash drive in your computer, and what does it have on it? Gattaca. The movie from the 90s starring Ethan Hawke. That's what it has on it.
Oh, wow. That sounds like it's a find.
And you're like, I haven't seen this movie in years. So you watch it. And that's it. That's our ratings.
All right. One day I'll learn. I'll learn not to ask DJ. So, Anthony, how about you give us the basic version of all that? The one that we normally do.
Okay, so goody booty directly translates to a find. That's if you are digging through the trash and you do find that USB flash drive. And we call that a find because who wouldn't give away a copy of Gattaca? Come on, you got to hold on to that shit. As far as the middle boy or whatever you call it.
What is
middle whittle?
Middle whittle. A middle whittle directly translate to our recycle bin. That means that we're going to it's a show that we've watched that we wouldn't necessarily watch again, but it might have some redeemable qualities for other people. So, and again, if it's just an absolute piece of trash, then I think that definition of itself is pretty self-explanatory.
It belongs in the trash. Oh my gosh. Well, that rating system was a mess. I'm going to go ahead and go back to doing it next week.
I thought I did good that time. I didn't... forget the names or?
You did. You did forget.
I knew it was called a red. What is it called?
Recycle bin.
Recycle bin.
Almost do this on a bi-weekly basis. All right, I'll go ahead and I'll lead. I'll lead off on this. I definitely have strong feelings about this, but not nearly as strong as Anthony. And I think DJ could probably go more in depth on what he thinks, but I'll lead it off. I thought this show, I can't even say it's a waste of potential because I thought there was no potential. I think this show was made specifically for a certain audience, and I think it failed that audience. I think that it wanted to get fans of the game excited for possibly a sequel for the game, but it just was bad. The dialogue is awkward, the scenes are awkward, and so when you get that combination, you do a fusion dance of just a mess. It is horribly, as well as having only a skeleton of plot, maybe not even that. It serves no purpose for anyone, and for me, I believe it belongs in the trash.
I think we might all be agreeing tonight.
Might be all agreeing tonight. All right, DJ.
So this anime, you're watching it the whole time, and as you get towards the end, you start to realize this anime, I think what happened is they made an anime for the fans of this game, and nobody was watching it. So towards the end, they were like, all right, we need to go heavy on the plot to really pull these people in, because doing just sex scenes, pretty much, not real sex scenes, but just like sexual tension scenes isn't working. They're not biting on just the sexiness. So we better do plot too, right? I think they do have that about halfway through, and it just doesn't work. So it's split as in what it wants to be. Hopefully the game does that better. I said a little earlier that I think if they actually made it like more sexualized, made the guys more sexualized, made the girl more sexualized, you'd be in a universe where some of this shit would make more sense. Like, 'cause the fact that she's into them would make more sense, and the fact that what you're watching, everything's so hypersexualized, but then like the plot isn't, and the characters aren't, and everyone's like so naive. So it's like, well, why are they doing these sexual, like hypersexual things? So if everything was sexual, that would make sense. Like, I've seen animes like that, and sometimes they're not that bad. Like sometimes it actually works pretty well. So if that disparity wasn't there between characters being naive and dumb, and the whole plot not making any sense as far as sexiness, right? And then they were in these sexual scenes. If that was the same, if there was no disparity, I think it would be a lot better. I think it would bring more people in. But I think the thing I agree the most with is saying that it needed more time to really have a plot. I just hope the game isn't as bad, because I don't know why so many people played it if it's as bad as this anime. But the bottom line, I mean, everybody wants to know, is it worse than Handshakers? This anime starts off bad, nothing happens all the way through, and it stays bad. Handshakers starts out not as bad as this anime, but it starts out worse than this anime, gains some traction, gets a little better, and then ends way, way worse than this anime. As far as goodness, they're very, very similar. They were boring all the way through. The conversations were awkward. The dialogue was bad. The plot was not there. When stuff started to pick up traction, it immediately died. In both of these animes that happened, right? There was stuff that I was like, ooh, and then it never comes back. Things like that. Cool characters turned out to be lame. Just like Handshakers. So the only thing that this anime has over it is that I could watch it. I could see it. It didn't hurt my eyeballs. So it's the second worst anime we've ever seen.
You're a moron.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
Moron.
Oh my god.
All right, Anthony.
Yeah,
And it belongs in the
okay.
trash.
All right.
Belongs in the trash.
Last week. Oh fuck. Okay. When I got done watching this anime, I said to Jake that I'm so heated, and I was so ready to talk about it. And I've had a little while now to kind of sit on that and simmer and really, really, think about what makes this anime the absolute worst. And I'm going to say that this anime is horrible. This is a horrible rendition of something that is popular to a group of individuals who find that particular content their niche. They love that. Love that content that the game is producing and that the anime is producing. But I'm sorry, we're not game reviewers. We are anime reviewers. And when I look at this anime itself, it is fucking garbage. This show has zero redeemable qualities in the characters that have zero depth, and as I mentioned in the spoiler section, have almost one, if that, two dimensions to them. They have, again, no redeemable qualities and they cause me to have disinterest throughout the entire show. The plot is absolutely laughable. The show is written absolutely clunky. I even would have to go out on a guess to say that they barely even storyboarded this. That somebody sat down during a meeting for one of the games and was like, we should put out an anime to cause a little hype with our fans. And I think that's exactly what happened. And somebody broke down the game and pulled direct scenes from the game itself. But they didn't pick the ones that should land with people that are just getting into this particular niche of content. And that's where this anime struggles. Is the worst part about this anime is the fan base and how blinded they are to this particular product. I'm sorry, this show is absolute garbage, and it turned out in a section like this is our second anime that we've watched on this same type of deal, where you're supposed to go into this anime with this knowledge of these characters, and it does absolutely horrible in creating that world for you. You don't get introduced to these characters in a fashion that should get you hooked or interested in these characters at all. And that is the weakest part about it, is the fan base. I'm sorry, they make this show fucking horrible. And I do hope that this episode picks up traction so that you can say that I'm wrong, because we're not. It's as a show itself that's supposed to be content that introduces you to the rest of the Diabolik Lovers franchise, it fucking sucks. And I can tell you that there is a show out there that they do it better, and that's High School DxD. And if you're going to come out and say that it's fucking this show is better than that, you're wrong. You can stab me with a silver knife, because fuck you. This show is absolute garbage. I would not recommend anybody watch this show, even people that are interested in this content. Go play the fucking game, because I guarantee that it's better than this piece of shit.
Anthony just called out the Vamp kids, man.
So
I did.
So,
no, absolutely not. This is a trash anime. And in terms of whether or not it's better than Handshakers, absolutely not. I was sitting there struggling. I would rather watch School Days for 12 fucking hours than watch this bullshit ever again. And that's the title of the episode.
It's a low blow. It's a low blow.
Hours of school.
Saying anything is worse than Handshakers is the worst thing we could say about an anime.
Yeah, this shit
There is no greater sin than being on this podcast than being worse than Handshakers.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited for future reviews now, because now when an anime's bad, it's no longer it's worse. It's no Handshakers in stereo. Now it's no Handshakers. It's no Diabolik
Lovers. Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, so that's three. That's three in the trash.
Triple trash.
I think I did pretty good with this one. I mean, we haven't had like a truly bad one since like Big Order.
Oh, you outdid yourself.
And Big Order, I don't know if it was truly bad.
It wasn't as bad.
It was pretty bad.
This one is not good. It's
not. It's like you said. It's for me. I definitely put it. I definitely put it worse than Handshakers.
Worse, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like it was so bland and mild the whole way through. and it didn't aggravate me like it aggravated Anthony, but it certainly never drew me in. And it's funny because this type of content isn't something that usually is a barrier of entry to me. I don't want to say that about Anthony, but I feel like sometimes when we watch an anime that is a really sexualized one, it is kind of a barrier of entry to him, like
Correct,
with Valkyrie Jive. So for me, I should have liked it the most, for sure. I mean, it's sounding kind of like I did, but I mean, as far as like hang-ups that other people have, I usually don't have it about that type of content, you know? I'm usually like gung-ho ready to watch it. But it never drew me in the way that animes like that do. Like we've made jokes about Sekiro where it's like you watch it for the titties and then you stay for the storyline.
Yeah.
Like so this one, same with Valkyrie Drive a little bit, right? This one never was I interested in the sexual tension or the sexual scenes in any way. And that should be a very intriguing scene for a viewer, even someone who's not like me. Like they have sex scenes in movies for a reason. Like it draws you in, and it makes you intrigued in the plot line. Yep. And you see a passionate moment between these two characters, and it makes you closer to these characters too. That none of that happens ever. It never pulled me in. It was neutral all the way through, and
it's those themes.
I never liked it. I didn't hate it. I never liked it. And it was just bad all the way through. And I think by a hair, Handshakers was worse. By a hair. I begged that this one would be over, but not as much as I begged Handshakers would be over. So
I disagree. I'd say that those themes that you were kind of just talking about, those are what, makes characters attractive in that sense. And this show just sucks at it. It does it absolutely horribly.
Oh, I agree with
that. And like in the sense that, I mean, in the sense that...
It's a horrible show.
Nothing happens.
Not as horrible as the other.
Nothing happens. Nothing happens in it. In Handshakers, you can at least argue that something happens. There's a fucking plot in Handshakers.
Yeah, but I feel like the plot brings it down. They have to hold hands the whole time.
At least it's a plot. At least it's a plot.
Guys, we're focusing too much on the past here. Let's focus on the present. All right, those shows were bad. We got to move on. We got to move on to our current show, Cells at Work.
We are Cells at Work. We are Cells at Work.
Hataraku. Or Hataraku Saibo if you're a weeb. I keep saying that just because the only way I can find the conversations on our anime is it's under Hataraku Saibo. So eat a dick. Those mods.
I saw some cosplays of it today, which is cool.
Oh,
it's also easy. Ooh. Also, I don't get it, but
You don't get it? You don't get the cosplays? Dude,
I just don't see why it's so popular.
Dude.
I love the comedy of like the white blood cell and stuff, and he jumps out and he's like, die!
Yeah.
But other than that, it's kind of, I don't know. These last few, I caught up and I learned to like it a lot more than I did originally. So.
Okay. Well, I mean,
mostly because of how comedic it is. I love that part. The storyline, the villains,
hold on. I will argue that White Blood Cell's design is really fucking cool, and that's how come people are cosplaying it.
It is cool. So and it's easy to cosplay.
It's easy to cosplay, it's cool.
And it's perfect for his character.
Yep.
Because he just kills things.
Okay, so, DJ, how about you tell us what Cells at Work is?
Cells at Work's anime about cells at work.
Short and sweet, to the point.
We got Whitey. He's the blood cell.
We were so close. Cutting throats.
Just like Whitey Bulger. Just like Whitey Bulger. He's Whitey. He goes around cutting throats. So he don't care. He don't care about no one. He runs up to the virus and he says, "Come here, virus," and he cuts him up good. And then there's Reddy. She's like, "Oh no, I'm a red blood cell." And that is the show.
Okay, so this podcast, we're going to be talking about episodes 10 and 11 of Cells at Work. So if you don't want to be spoiled by about episodes 10 and 11, feel free to skip to the time up above. All right, so episode 10, we get introduced to a new cell, quotes around new, with monocyte.
Yeah, he's like...
He's wearing the full on biohazard gear.
Hell yeah, baby!
And this DJ saying he doesn't get why it's so popular. I think it's so popular because of shit like this. This episode, I think, is a prime example of why I love this show. It's funny. This episode's comedic. It has all the points in it that I like. It has red blood cell being red blood cell as well as white blood cell showing up out of like a grate saying that he was going to kill that thing and being surprised that red blood cell got saved. It has some shipping fuel for me with red blood cell and white blood cell. But the part I truly fucking love about this show is that while I watch it, I legitimately learn something new every day.
That's true. Mm-hmm. I noticed that as we went along. At the beginning, it was like such light stuff that I was like, I already know that, right? Mm-hmm. And I was just expecting more in the beginning, and I was disappointed. But catching up on it, I was like, man, this show's just funny. Like, it's just knows where its jokes are, and it hits them right every time. I don't think it tries to add too much complex jokes or like different stuff jokes. Like it showed you its jokes, its gags in the first episode, and it just puts them right in the right spot every time.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But the thing that got me is because Monocyte, that guy, he's running around. He saves red blood cell a couple times. He fucking can find monocytes can find weird ways around the blood vessel, and so he jumps on the wall, and the wall panels itself in, and he disappears.
Like the Homer Simpson gif is what I thought of.
And at one point, he's resting his feet in the hot spring.
Yeah.
So I'm just sitting there. I'm smiling the entire time with this, and then the bee. I remember DJ referring to her as a bee. That virus shows up. A lot of them show up.
It's a staph infection.
It's staph infection. And they fuse together Voltron style and beat the fuck out of all the white blood cells.
Yeah.
And then Monocyte shows up. And everyone's like, oh, Monocyte, like a bunch of Monocytes show up, and they're fucking wielding gang gear.
Yeah, they've got fucking, like, maces and
planks and, yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, it's about to go down. And then the Monocytes take off their gear and their macrophages. And I
love that.
And I'm like, what? And then it goes...
Oh, lame. I thought it would be something cool.
Well,
that's what I thought.
That's what you thought? I love that.
Until they explained it. No, until they explained it. I was like, that's lame. I thought it would be something cool. And then they explained why.
I was like, because monocytes, when they leave a blood vessel, turn into macrophages.
Yep.
And I didn't know that. And I'm like, oh my... That's so... And it's such a clever way to do it. And it's...
Yeah.
This fucking show, and I love it. And that's
macrophages or monocytes.
Oh,
but you know, it's cool for me, baby.
And then macrophages beat the fuck out of them.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And I love the macrophages just because they're like these, like they're like these beautiful women wearing like their dresses and stuff, but they're carrying fucking cleavers and maces and axes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Another thing I do like about the show is the consistency with like the characters that always hang around white blood cell. Like whenever he calls for backup, it's always like the same two other white blood cells.
They're his boys.
Yeah,
they're his boys. What did you guys think about this episode, though?
I love it. I thought that this was extremely interesting. I love the I love the content. I can definitely see the appeal, and kind of thinking about it. Some of the greatest anime of all time. This doesn't stack up to that at all, but that's not what it's trying to be. And I love that it's found its identity, and that's what I love about it the most. And specifically here in this episode, it teaches you things. It shows you lots of fun, meme friendly, qualities, and red blood cell, as DJ says, being red blood cell, and white blood cell being white blood cell. Yeah, I love that. I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. Anytime that she does a face, I lose my mind. I think it's hilarious. Yep. Her eyes go white, and she's like,
The bit, like the running joke of her getting lost, seems to have gone away after the episode where she figured out her path.
Mm-hmm.
So that was
and even in, I want to say that's where this starts, where Red Cell Senpai is like watching her like be attacked, like with her friend, and the other red blood cell's like, oh my god, our friend is gonna die from that bacteria. I loved that part. I thought that was hilarious. But it was a good episode.
Good episode. I'd say that these two episodes, I said after the cancer episode that I don't think that I don't think the show is going to live up to that cancer episode. But as we continue to watch, I feel like the cancer episodes were just like another episode. Like I feel that it was a different take, but it still had everything that the show does. So I don't think these past episodes after that episode have hurt the series at all. Like I thought it would, but I think I'm enjoying it just as much.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's paced well enough. So, and in the sense that like the pacing doesn't come in the form of moving the plot along, but pacing more in the sense of in an episodic manner. It didn't like show us the episode that's going to cause all of the other episodes to not hold up to the hype.
Gotcha.
I like I said, the comedy of it is great. I think it captures that comedy very, very well in every episode, and so well to the point where there's gags coming that are coming, but you still enjoy it when it happens. It's very smartly comedic. Like it's very planned, not just throwing jokes at you, hoping you like them.
Yep. That's the problem I had with Soul Eater Not, was just threw so many jokes at you, kind of hoping something will land. And this one is like, here's a joke, and it's going to land. And like, here's a joke again. And so just like DJ said, smartly comedic is a good way to put it. Yeah.
At this point, do you think that the comedy in Cells at Work, is that why Cells at Work is more popular than Magical Girl Ore? Would you say that the meta comedy of Magical Girl Ore isn't really that much of a...
I think Magical Girl Ore in general is just less accessible. Not in a I'm a douchebag and I understand it and you don't type of way, but just it's just the type of anime that not as many people will like. It's just some people will be turned away by the fact that it's like a big giant dude. Some people will be turned away by the fact that it's a magical girl show. You know what I mean? Like just lots of things that it has going against it that this one doesn't as much.
Yeah, like a good example is before we started Ore, I don't think either of you watched Magical Girl anime at all, right?
I hadn't since Sailor Moon.
Yeah. So
but I like them. I do like them. I just haven't picked one up.
Yeah. I'd call Strike Witches,
Oh, yeah, Strike Witches. Yeah, but I mean, like, it's still not a genre that a lot of people, like, watch. And so, I mean, a lot of people watch it, but, I mean, you're not going to watch a complete parody of a Magical Girl series if you're not familiar with the genre.
Right,
yeah.
right.
And I think that's... I think it's more of a classic anime genre, too, than, like, a newer age one. Magical Girls. But, I mean, that first episode of Ore, the pilot, is just phenomenal. And I can't, like, it's so good. Like, it was so perfectly timed with what we were watching, too, because we had just watched School Days. And they had the School Days gag in that. Like, it's just, I like it a lot.
All right,
like that show in general a lot.
So the next episode of our currently airing show that we're watching, not Magical Girl Ore, is the episode 11, and that one was Heat Stroke. And I thought that was a really neat way to do it. Like, I don't know, like
Heat Stroke's scary, man.
Me too. Me too.
It was pretty neat. I don't know, like the visuals of the show make it so accessible. And again, it's something I just really like about the show, and I feel like, again, I really wish the show was fun while I was in high school and taking biology. Just because
you bring up how much you learn. Like, I learned so much about heat stroke in this episode, like of how your body reacts to it and shit.
Right.
And they present you with it first. You're like, why are they all doing this? And then they explain it, and it's very informative.
It's like, like all like blood rushes to this area, and you're like, oh.
So that's why they're all running there.
Oh yeah. And this was, I think this answered a question. For people wondering, okay, well, what are they going to do? Just introduce another bacteria every single episode? Like this is an environmental, cause that's causing, problems with your own body. I thought that they tackled this episode extremely well. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it's there's a part specifically I want to bring up, and it's when the fucking captain of Sweat leaves, and they're like, "What's he gonna do?" And he comes back, and he's wearing all the tribal gear, and he starts praying for rain.
You think your body does that, and they just at one point they're just like, "All right, fuck it, systems are failing." Everybody
it's also it was also a smart way to show something that like kind of one-ups the cancer episode in a way. We were talking about what could they do next, like what disease is next, but heat stroke is a great example because that is a condition where your body can only help you up to a certain amount.
Yeah,
right.
Like talk about if we're making characters out of body parts, like talk about like despair and like helplessness. Like they fucking can do nothing about this. They're fucked.
Well, yeah, that's
what they have
starts
to
resorting to praying for water.
I thought that was a great way to up the ante from the cancer episode.
It's also the time in this entire series so far where the body has gotten outside help.
Right.
And that was with the IV, which I thought was funny because I was like, how are they gonna how would they do like an IV? And it's just straight up like a needle in the sky.
Needle in the sky.
That's hilarious. I've resolved to say that this person is in the hospital right now. That's what's going on. Because this guy is no longer out walking about. He is in the hospital, and he's contracted all of these diseases while in the hospital.
Well, I imagine he fell. He scraped his knee again.
Exactly, that's what.
And then fucking got heat stroke.
He's like, I need to figure something out here.
Yep. That's what happened.
Everyone's like, fucking Jeff, man. You gotta get your shit together.
You just calling sick again?
Yeah.
Why? He says there's animes in his body. What? They talk to him.
The show also knows the platelets are something people love because the platelets are in both episodes for just like little bits and pieces.
Yep. My favorite part is she walks up, and it's the same. Thank goodness, it's the same little platelet.
Yeah, it's the leader.
Like walks. Too good.
Other than that, not much more to say. I really only have praise for the show. Like, I thought for sure after that cancer episode we were going to get hit with such downer like highs, but it's like again, it's not really what we thought. It's not really a type of show I was thinking of at the time. It's really just an episodic show that is educational while entertaining.
It's funny how much we have to talk about these 2 episodes of Cells at Work compared to how much we had to talk about all 12 episodes of Diabolik Lovers. We were like, yeah, and in this episode he like attacks her, and then all right, the next episode
he attacks her, a different guy attacks her, but he also attacks her.
It's just I mean, to shoot some praise your way, Jake. Thank you for letting us watch this show. Thank you.
From what I can tell, Anthony, you loved Diabolik Lovers, though. So
I'm just, as much as I would love to bask in the praise of how much like we're liking this, I can't fully because DJ was the turning vote. Because DJ and you voted for the Hot Springs one, and Kobe and I voted for Cells at Work, and DJ goes, so you're telling me Cells at Work is like Osmosis Jones? And Kobe goes, that's what I got out of it. And DJ went, we're watching anime Osmosis Jones. And he flipped the vote.
Anime Osmosis Jones, man. It's my type of anime.
It's
not anime Osmosis Jones.
It is not anime Osmosis Jones.
It's not.
I was lying too.
It's different but better. Different but better in its own right.
I've never seen Anthony get so angry at an anime that he decided to call out its entire fan base to almost pretty much fight him. He wants to fight all the fans of Diabolik.
I just think that they are blind. They're absolutely blind. It's a fan base that is blind.
When we get out of spoilers for Cells at Work, I'll bring up a thing I do want to say real quick. So is there anything else about Cells at Work you guys want to say before we go?
No, it's nothing spoilery.
Awesome. It's awesome. If you're not watching it with us by now, please go back through and watch it. We would love to
say that every time.
This is the spoiler part, though, so they're already watching it with us.
Good point. You
can't say that every time, Anthony.
My brain's all mush. I can.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and get our spoilers now. welcome to the end of the Cells at Work spoilers. If you skipped that, Anthony during the spoilers said that if you're not watching it, you should watch it with us.
Hey!
His catchphrase.
You took Anthony's catchphrase.
I took it, and Are you gonna fight me too now, Anthony? Like you're gonna fight the entire fan base?
You're gonna fight the entire fan base of Diabolik
Lovers.
I want you to go into like forums afterwards and be like, watch this video. Here's my Twitter. Fucking at me.
All right. Well, it's like after reading some of the comments and everything too, which I should not have done. The amount of people that literally go on there and white knight for that show is ridiculous, and they bring up content that you can only get from the fucking game, and that's wrong. That's absolutely wrong. You're making an excuse for content that was created poorly. That's in its own right, its own fault. It's the fault of the writer and the director of that anime. Why give them any credit? That's fucking wrong.
Well, there's the argument that source material shouldn't affect how the anime is perceived, and I've always like that.
Yep.
Like I don't care if the manga is really good, if it's how the anime turns out.
I 100% agree. I should not have to go back and research this content. If I'm watching an anime on an anime review show, then that show should do all of the work for me. I don't need to go back and watch any of that bullshit.
Yeah,
so we're not going to play all 4 games.
We're not going to. I mean, we could.
Darn.
We'll see.
Season 2.
A special. Yeah.
I mean, after we play all of School Days.
Yes. Welcome to Game Show.
The thing I thought was funny is when I was on Crunchyroll, I saw that there was like 50 something like 5-star reviews of the anime, and I couldn't tell if I was like half of those have to be like fake, right? Half of those have to be trolling. But,
No.
All right, so this anime was bad. This anime got compared to Handshakers.
It has entered a pantheon of horror. That contains it and Handshakers.
It and Handshakers are in a level of its own right now.
Yeah.
I also figured out that there's 2 more episodes of Cells at Work, giving us 2 weeks. So we have episodes 12 and 13 of Cells at Work next week. So we can fit in 1 more anime. And I'm done with bad anime right now. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do our good anime for the season. And I didn't pick one yet because I wanted you guys to pick one. And I know you guys aren't going to have the same opinion on what makes a good 12-episode anime. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip a coin. Heads is DJ's pick. Tails is Anthony's pick. So, DJ, what would you like our good anime to be?
Anthony, pick first.
No. DJ pick first. Oh God, I don't know. Does it have to be one that we've watched before?
Gurren Lagann is 24 episodes. Do you think you...
12 episodes season.
We can't do that.
It has to be something none of us... What if we've all seen it?
If we've all seen it, that's fine. If we haven't seen it on the show, it's free game.
I haven't seen all of it, so it counts. Dragon Maid.
Wow. Anthony's gonna lose on purpose.
Yeah.
Never mind. I picked Yuri on Ice.
There we go. That's what I was expecting the entire time.
Yeah, I picked Yuri on Ice. I want Anthony finally after all this time.
All right. We have
or Yuri on Ice or Kaijo.
We might do Keijo for a bad anime review.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was not perceived well.
Oh,
really? Oh well.
I would be absolutely fine with that.
Okay,
that'd
be an easy week, right?
Easy week.
Nice time. All right, Anthony. So we got Yuri on Ice. What do you got?
Pick Dragon Maid.
Pick Dragon Maid. Pick Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
Win. I haven't seen Dragon Maid.
It's so good. It's so good. I as much as I love that anime, I don't want it to be associated with our show. So
even if it is Gotoka, we plastered that on, and DJ shat all over it.
I didn't shit all over it. I just didn't like it as much as you guys did.
Shat on it and spit in my mom's face about it.
What was that? What's the fucking show called where they go to Antarctica?
Antarctica show.
A place beyond the universe, or beyond the universe, or
Yep.
Just pick Yuri on Ice. So there's no Coin flip. Anthony, you know you want to watch Yuri on Ice.
It's A Place Further Than the Universe.
How well is that one received?
It is commonly 8.6 on Anime List.
Yep. Yeah, that's the one I pick.
All right.
So we talked about watching it. You didn't watch it, did you?
I did not watch it.
Okay, good. That's the one that I want to watch then.
Okay. So, we have Yuri on Ice. A Place Further Than the Universe. Both involve ice.
Hey, I'll see Ice Boys.
That was a horrible flip.
God.
Which one was heads and which one was tails?
This
Jake
one's
just tossed it up in the
This
air.
one's
He
tails.
didn't even-
No, I didn't. You
I picked tails.
You were heads. Anthony was tails. I already said this.
Did I win?
No, I didn't get to flip. Anthony was like, flip, blah, blah, blah.
Oh.
Because I flipped it normally.
No, you didn't. You just tossed it up in the air.
Anthony, you're going to be mad. Because it was tails.
Yuri on Ice.
So we're
All
watching
right,
Yuri on
finally.
Ice this time.
Finally.
So, tune in next week, or 2 weeks from now, to listen for our podcast that will cover the last 2 episodes of Girls at Work, as well as the entirety of Yuri on Ice. Anthony, where can they find us?
You can find us down on our Twitter handles, down in the description below. You can find more content here on our YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe, like, and comment. Come fucking at me, you Diabolik Lover pieces of shit.
Anthony's going to buy a billboard just to be like, get fucking at me.
Anthony Kinney. This is my Twitter. Come.
Hey, whoa,
me.
hey, cut that part. Fucking cut that part.
That's your fucking name on your Twitter, dude.
Oh, never mind.
All right. Anything you guys want to say? Anthony, we're going to cut off Anthony from there because I think it's just going to be more urging people to fight him. DJ, anything else you'd like to say?
You know, wherever the birds shine, that's where you can find me, you know?
Where the birds shine. Are you broken?
That's all I got to say about that.
Thank you so much for listening. Anthony already did the rest of the plug. Probably going to cut that part. I don't know what to say now.
Just say
Okay,
it again.
I got it.
Okay.
Thank you so much for listening. I said this last podcast. I'm going to go ahead and plug them again. If you like sports anime and are interested in hearing about two not sporty guys talk about sports anime, I highly recommend the Nerd Blazes podcast, Anime Ricochet. On their latest episode, they talk about Uma Musume Pretty Derby, where I guest star as a sporty boy who did track in high school, so I was able to talk to them about competitive running. We'll go ahead and put a link up there.
Can they do free and me and Anthony will both be on it?
They already
So we
did
can
free.
shit on that anime?
They already
Aw.
did free. All right, thank you so much for listening. Bye.
Thanks, Dad.
Bye-bye.
All
Thanks,
right.
Dad.